Yo, how y'all doing? Much love, me to you. So today, I want to coach y'all on something real quick. Nah, for real though. So the main thing that got people fucked up, got beings fucked up on the highest and lowest of scales was arrogance and ignorance. And through that arrogance and ignorance, some beings were able to exploit that and use the self-imposed system that everyone creates around them, basically their constellation. They use beings' own constellation against them to make it so white was right, and since I'm white, I'm right. And in that case, the righteous ones that they use the self-imposed system against their constellation, they end up becoming black, so they ended up in lack always. And I'm black, so I'm lacking type shit. And that is a spell work that was used against you vis-a-vis what I just said. So the only way to counteract that would to be to literally have automatic intuition on everything. 1 second.
Are you using the mobile app today?
No, I'm not.
Thanks for the McDonald's. I'm helping.
Can I get what are the counts on the nuggets?
4 piece, 6 piece, 10 piece, 20 piece, 40 piece.
Okay, can I get a 6-piece meal?
Medium or large into drink?
A high C.
And the sauce?
No sauce.
Anything else?
That's it.
Alright, go ahead and put it on.
So yeah, you need to have automatic intuition, because AI, artificial intelligence, is gonna take you out unless you have that.
You got the 6-piece nugget meal?
Yeah.
You want her to see it?
Nah. Appreciate you. You too. Yeah, so that's gonna take you out, because it's always gonna be leveling up itself, and that was basically another system that was self-imposed.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You too. That was self-imposed on people. And so it's not like them people were evil or anything, to go into that, but they were smart in their cunning, you know. So they saw an opportunity and they used it, and that's all everyone's been trying to do now. Because like literally, you know, people who are detached from their constellation, they have it still, but they're not being compensated by it anymore. So it's like you're an all-powerful being, but you're literally detached from your power, even though it's still being perpetuated, it's still being used by other beings. You have no control over it. You have no even recollection of that you had access to the whole cosmos via your own constellation, your own personal constellation. And I'm not talking about zodiacs per se necessarily, but the idea of consciousness is basically the constellation I'm speaking on. Like, it's a self-imposed system that you put on yourself. And through my research and my understanding, I've realized that a lot of my self-imposed ideas of myself have been basically flipped and negated and put in a stupefied state, in a retarded state. And yeah, it could have been me, but if you're living your entire life You're either born straight up or you're born crooked. And some beings that are born crooked, they're not supposed to be born crooked. It's mostly because of what I'm talking about now. They have a direct interaction and connection with their ancestral lineage, and they feel, and they are basically the ancients reborn. So they're gonna be like they're gonna be at the point right where they got fucked over and they came back into a human body to rewrite that and make it right, basically. And so it's not like, okay, I'm not gonna keep saying that, but I was gonna say it's not like they're wrong or right or anything like that, but I mean, you gotta be for real about this. If you get robbed of something that's intrinsic to your own being, that's never can get taken away, really, it can only be, you know what I'm saying, forgotten about and then used against you, and it's intrinsic to you. So that's why consciousness and the whole push for that has been going on right now. So it's to the detriment and to the benefit to a lot of people, because if people get deep into it and they stop just going off what they read and they start just actually like researching themselves, reading their own biofield, they're gonna see like, oh damn, like where did this belief even come from? Yeah, it came from blah blah blah, but what about the other beliefs that's not even connected to anything in this lifetime? It's like on some past regression shit. And like I said, they're all self-imposed, but I also think there was like some type of incursion on some shit like, oh, these beings got the spiritual powerhouse always. Let's go trick them up out of that, because they never been without power. So if we can just make it seem like being without power or being without your own kingdom, your own constellation is a cool thing, then bet we gonna get them. You feel me? We gonna get them. We gonna flip them over. And that's what we're going through right now. Also, we're going back through that space and time where that happened to us, and it's being rewritten, it's being remade to be properly the way it is. So the beings that have basically been living a life of a eunuch, they didn't have that funkidative principle back on them. Basically, the Osiris people, they are becoming Asar through Isis's and Alset's help and assistance. And that's basically just like saying the warrior spirit is reawakening within all the beings that have been on a wicked state, but not because they did it per se, but they did add to it, of course, because they were ignorant and arrogant of even the initial incursion. So they added to it, yeah, but like, you didn't break your leg because you wanted to. You broke your leg because somebody pushed you and, you know what I'm saying, prodded you into that, and they were like, yo, something's in this alleyway, we gotta drive fast, we gotta go fast type shit. Like, there's a homeless man down here, and he's been talking to people and trying to, you know what I'm saying, take you or some shit. Don't even know that for sure. They just know it sounds good and makes you fearful, so it's gonna put you in a state where they can control you. You know what I'm saying? So right now, the best thing to do is to get to a point where you are automatic, but it's intuition. And because you can be automatically ignorant, and that's the dangerous space a lot of people are in. They're arrogantly ignorant. And so I talk about this concept a lot, because being automatic is very important, but you also want to make sure it's automatic in the right ways. So I'm starting to lose the train of thought, so either I'm at the end of what I'm speaking on, or I need to go a little bit deeper. Basically, guys, just remember that the constellation, basically the stars around you, not even what the stars around you, but the things that come into play, the conditions and circumstances that come into play, they're all in your power, but they're right in your fields. So it's not like you'll ever really notice them unless you're hypersensitive of your body and your space around you. So once you do that though, you're gonna start to see like, oh, whoa, like when you get to the point where you're super clarity and you're not blaming anybody anymore. Cause yeah, they did it, but yeah, we kept adding on to it. And that point that we added onto it is like the footprints back to the source. And via going to the source, we see it was all because of our arrogance and ignorance. So it was us at the end of the day. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just because someone has a weakness doesn't mean you have to exploit it. But that also don't mean people aren't going to. Like, if you have a weakness and people are weak naturally, they're already weak, and they see you have a weakness, even though you're not as weak as them, i.e. they're gonna use that bitch. They're gonna go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna get funky with you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta fucking just be a warrior in the garden, always training, hoping for peace, but at the end of the day, you ready for war. So this is the warrior's code right here. Automatically intuitive. I had a dream last night where I was basically fighting beings, fighting entities, and I was like, I was fighting beings and entities, and I just knew what to do. That's how it is when you're in dreams. It's just like second nature to you, because you're in that reality at that point. You're in that body and being at that point. And all bodies and beings, well, I ain't gonna say that, but I know, yeah, all bodies and beings have even more bodies and beings that make up their different sides and aspects. Like, for one, there's an intuitive being. There's an intuitive being with an infinite body. And then there's one where there's an observational being, and that's and the omni body, or the observational body, and the omni being. And these are all different aspects of you when you're in your automatically intuitive state. You know what I'm saying? And not even just that state. You have those beings and bodies all the time. You have access to them. And that would just be like you being able to connect the dots between a confusion thing that's going on in your life. That is a different type of body and being you're using at that time. So the bodies and beings are realities. And then in those realities are more actualities that you're existing in as a nebulous cloud. Like a spirit, basically. But you know what I'm saying, to put an image on what a spirit is, you gotta fucking imagine a nebulous cloud. But shit, that's probably it for today. I'm gonna go in a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep going in, because that's what I do. Deep diver. But yeah, that's it for today. Love y'all. Y'all stay blessed, stay balanced, and stay perpetually at peace, but also primordially powerful, to make sure that peace is never stamped out, trampled on. You feel me?